Show, Peter G. Show, Peter G. Show, Peter G. Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G. Show.
Did somebody say Sunday? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Look at you guys. I can't believe how fast the week goes by. I really can't. I really can't. Whoa, sorry. Sunday night Facebook Life with Peter G right here on the official Peter G Show page. Sometimes I question myself, why? Why? Everybody else asks me, why? Why are you doing it on Facebook? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't know. But I know one thing, when you hear this sound, it means shit's getting ready to go down. How the hell is everybody? I know some people join up early, some people join up later. So long as you join up, as you know, these shows all run in, repeats, reruns, different times. You can pull them up on demand. But I appreciate those of you who jump on right when we start because you know we're there. Don't want to miss a beat, and I thank you. Anyway, it's really great to be here. Love you too. It's been a long week again. These weeks are crazy. Another crazy long week. But I'm shifting gears a lot, I'm getting a lot of people asking me, hey, Peter, what happened? You haven't been doing much divorce stuff lately. And the answer is, yes, you're correct, because I've been talking about the times we're living in. But we'll get there. I got a call out to Kelly Chang, family practice attorney, who has just exploded on the TikTok network. And she's doing a lot of cool little stuff, and she's really easy to understand. And I like her. Especially now during this COVID thing, I want her on the show. I was trying to get an answer so I could tell you if she's going to be on next week, but I don't know yet. I'm only hoping. So to be continued. Anyway, so everybody's already starting with the text and everything. Yeah, that's right. Hello. Let's get warmed up. Here's what we're going to do. Let's get those watch parties going. All right, I got to do it myself, and I can't read my screen yet because because I haven't put it up yet, and I don't know why I didn't do it, but I didn't. So let's all get those watch parties started, people. It's real simple. Producing from I forgot. Peter G Show is in a undisclosed location in Burbank, California. Sorry, there's so much going through my head right now that I'm just, I tell people, we're pretty off the cuff. There's nobody standing in front of me with cue cards telling me what to do. I do what I want. But sometimes that's kind of dangerous. But anyway, start those watch parties. Go to your share button, hit the share. And then it says, hey, you want to start a watch party? And then, type a little something. Say, hey, I'm watching the Peter G Show. Hey. You're awake on the right coast. I love you, Glenn. Thank you for, you always tune in, and I appreciate it. I'm just happy to catch these. I'm catching these on the right coast. That's okay, because the right coast, it's late, but I appreciate it. That's why I don't get, a lot of people watch me from the East Coast. They'll watch the Monday reruns and things like that, but you must be really bored. Nah, I get it, and I love you. Again, I have the quietest, craziest, dedicated crowd, and I'm very proud of that. It may not look like a lot's going on, but believe me when I tell you there's a lot going on. Speaking of a lot going on, I still haven't finished. Hold on one second. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I still got to get this down. Let's try this, Peter. I just want to see. I got a big screen in front of me, and I just want to see. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Hey, that's me. Anyway, okay, so I can read your text. Okay. So thank you. Last week we had our first East Meets West with Bob Paff. Bob Paff from the East Coast. Baltimore radio talk show host Bob Paff was on last week. He's going to be on with me for a while on the last Sunday of every month. He's going to co-host with me on my show because he's a lot more together than I am. So we're going to see what he feels has gone on through the month, and we're going to take what he's got from the Atlantic side. Because believe it or not, when you live on different sides, even though you're watching in the newses and things like that, you're in a different bubble. Lots of different things going on. Yeah, Nick. Another silent majority. You're killing me. I see so many people who have watched for so long and they're just so shy. Anyway, so we did last week the first East Meets West, Bob Paff, Peter G show on the Peter G show, and we're going to do that every last Sunday of the month until we can't do it. Life takes us into different turns and directions, but I think you're going to like that. I enjoyed it. Bob's an easy man to talk to. He's a passionate man, and he did a great job. And again, he's a Baltimore radio talk show host who's going to be on my show every last Sunday of the month, and it'll be called East Meets West. So again, I thank Bob Paff for last week. It was awesome. This week, coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to have Miss Sunny Gault on. She's been all on both sides of the production scene, from hosting and producing, and she's heavy into the podcast scene. And we're going to have her on because I want to talk about that kind of stuff because it's really popular, and I don't do it, and it's my bad. And I'm getting there right now. So she's going to be on in a few minutes, so you're not going to want to miss that. In the meantime, don't forget the watch party, but I could not do all this if it wasn't, yes, that's right, for my beloved Bolt Energy. Bolt Energy, people. Go ask for Bolt Energy. If you don't find Bolt Energy in your stores, go to www.drinkboltenergy, and they'll tell you where you can find it. They're spreading. They're new, but it's awesome. Number one, I like the way it tastes personally, but there's an even bigger thing. Only energy drink with no preservatives. Go try to find that in another energy drink. You're not going to find it. It's a cleaner energy drink. My Bolt Energy people are workout fanatics, and they wanted to make a better energy drink. And lo and behold, I give you Bolt Energy. Hang on a second. Got to pop a can. Bolt Energy. Salute. You don't know, I wait all day for that. I put it in the freezer. They take it out, and they give it to me, and it's just like... Ooh la la. Like Bolt Energy. It doesn't get you all wired. It just gives you, you just naturally feel like if you didn't want to do something, you'll just do it. It gets you back to that normal feeling, like, you're dragging ass, and it picks your ass up so you're not dragging. One more thing real quick. I'm going to get it. At the end of the show, as anybody who's been following, I am part of the America Strong USA Wristband Challenge. America Strong, they're supporting our first responders, our healthcare workers, our law enforcement. Yes, our law enforcement, the people that we really need, that only the dumbasses think we don't, we need to, cut them back. I'm sorry, yeah, that's the truth. It was folded. So I'm going to give away 2 wristbands at the end of the show for the first 2 callers, but I want people to go to... I know, I didn't realize it was folded. I see it now, the latency. Oh, boy. I wish we could do a retake, but we're live. It's a problem with live. So anyway, Bolt Energy. Okay, sorry. America Strong USA. We're going to talk about that after the show and what a job they're doing. They're a nonprofit. They're doing a wristband challenge. You're going to get a wristband. You can go to their website at americastrongusa.org, and you can purchase these wristbands. You give them to people, and I want people to post, make a 5-second video. Say, hey, I'm Peter G. from Los Angeles, California, and I'm a America Strong USA wristband challenge supporter. and then you post it up to their website. You post it onto Instagram. You post it onto Facebook. It's to help people that help you. Believe it or not, they're in need of help too. I'm going to keep pushing now. I can't believe I'm running out of time. What the hell is going on with me? We had an earthquake this week here in Los Angeles. I didn't feel it, and I'm really glad I didn't, but it woke a lot of people up. I don't know how I didn't feel it. That's how dead tired I am. I get about 5.5, if I'm lucky, 6 hours sleep a night, and that's really bad. Something's got to give, but right now I don't see any vacations coming up. And even if you have a vacation, that's only temporary. You have to have a decent lifestyle. But anyway, I was sleeping, happened around 4 in the morning, and it woke a lot of people up. I opened up my Facebook, and people go, wow, that got my attention. And it's like, I'm really glad I didn't feel it because I'm like a cat. I just don't like them. It's been hot, hot, hot out here in L.A. Hot as hell. Temperatures, it was 120 in Palm Springs yesterday. 120. I know, right? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call Sunny up, and we're going to talk to her from the Independent Podcast Network, and we're going to talk about a bunch of good stuff. So let's see what we can do here. Put this over here. Won't be needing that. I tell you, it's really great to be here. Yeah. Okay, so we call there, and then we go here. Sorry, it's all new to me. I used to have people. Now I got nothing. It's lucky to be. With this whole COVID thing, it has changed. Whoa. It's changed the world. Where did she go? Oh, there you are. And... uh-oh. There we go. Where are you, Sonny? Come back up here. Okay. And let's call her in. All right. 1, 2 ringy dingies. 3 ringy dingies. 4 ringy dingies. That's 5. That's 6. Oh yeah, look at me. Can't do it. Yeah, where'd she go? Calling all cars. Calling all cars. Wow. I had her an hour ago.
I'm here.
Oh, God, I thought I was going to lose you. I go, just my luck. Just my luck. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sunny Gault on my show right here in the semi-flesh. It's nice to have a pretty face on for a change, I swear.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I got a bunch of guys I've been having on, and it's like, boring. No, they're all good. How you doing?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm good now. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the same thing with you, but I'm always like in a little bit of a stress panic every week up until I get going.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because there's just too much to go wrong in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's pretty smooth, but I don't know, I can never get there early enough, and then I find I got way too much time on my hands. I'm hanging around doing nothing. And,
yeah.
And but I don't know. I just always feel like the minute I get comfortable is when everything's going to go wrong.
It's like Murphy's Law, right? The moment you let it go.
Yeah, so it's a challenge every week. But the thing was, here's how I got back with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize, but it's been 1 year since I was on your show.
Yeah.
Okay, so Facebook was reminding me that. So your name popped up.
Facebook, or was it LinkedIn?
Well, all the above, but Facebook does the reminders.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Facebook does, this happened a year ago on this date.
Yeah.
And I have lots of, if I do my show, then all through the week I cut up, 1 minute clips. And so there's several clips a day that go out of different pieces of the show that, through the week. So I get a lot of reminders, which is kind of cool. I mean, it kind of takes you back and I go, wow, that wasn't so bad. And it's like, oh boy, that was horrible. And, so it reminded me of you. And I had reached out to you, I don't know, 8 months, 10 months ago, because I want to know how you were doing, because you were going for, what was the name of the Live Revive, right?
Revive Live.
Revive Live, sorry.
Yeah,
Dyslexia.
that's okay.
So, but you were doing a daily show.
Yeah.
I have a hard enough time doing a once a week show, let alone prepping and having something for every single day.
I know.
That's tough.
We were a little crazy. That's way
crazy.
Well, so my background is in doing daily news. So I'm not scared of daily content, but it's different when you're doing almost everything on your own as opposed to having a team of people to help you with that kind of stuff, right? So I always like to try different things. And we were kind of in a position where someone said, hey, do you want to create this show? We'll actually pay you if you want to use our equipment and create the show. So that's how I kind of got into it, is because someone was going to pay me to do it. And I thought, well, if that's the case, then sure. I mean, I always view this kind of stuff as, am I going to build like my skill set? Am I going to learn something new? I mean, I may fall on my face a little bit, but then, that's usually how we learn the best.
Right.
So that's kind of how that whole show got started. And then after a while, the guys that hired us to do it were like, yeah, we're not going to hire, we're not going to pay anymore. And then that's kind of when it went downhill from there.
I get it.
Yeah, but it was tough. Yeah, daily content. I think so it was an hour-long show, and I think we had like 2 or 3 interviews for each show, and Monday through Friday. And then we were trying to put it up as a podcast afterward. There was just a lot of moving parts.
I think putting it up as a podcast is the easy part. Once it's done, you just, but it's the prep work. I know what I go through just to get this done, get guests and this and that. And just, my show, really, the work starts. Well, it never stops. It just doesn't. It's continual because after the show is over, it goes immediately to rebroadcast, and then through the week it rebroadcasts, and it's on demand. It goes to LinkedIn. It goes to but the getting guests and who flakes and who forgot, who slept because it's late on the East Coast, and I do it. I do it at a kind of weird time, and I don't know. I have to stick to my guns. I mean, it's doable. Yeah. I know there's shows that go on at 1 a.m. There's something for everybody. But you were doing that, and I'm just thinking, God, my God, to have guests every day, how the work involved in just trying to prepare for that has got to be enormous.
Yeah, it totally was. And that's why it lasted for about 3 months before I was like, oh, do we really want to do this? And again, once the money ran out, I was glad that we did it. We learned a lot. I mean, to this day, I'm still pulling from information that I gathered during that time, just how to produce shows and how to do things quickly. And so I'm glad we did it. But I mean, here you are still doing your show, and I'm not doing that show. So it just kind of shows you.
Well, this is going to bring up this topic. I mean, which is great because you know what, you're right. The learning is in the struggle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because and I may still be doing my show, but it has evolved, it has changed, it has gone in different directions, and I'm learning from it. I have no regrets, but it's a struggle. I mean, I can see why people quit. I totally understand why people quit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I lost track of you. So you gave me an answer kind of months ago, and I said, okay, so be it. I'm busy doing my thing, and and here we are again, and I see that you're doing your thing now. You're doing more things, related. So tell everybody, my 3 or 3 million, what you're doing.
Yeah. So, my whole thing has always been podcasting. Even when I was doing the live show, I was testing out the concept of doing a live show that was being streamed through a podcasting app, and then converting it into a podcast. So my whole thing has always been podcasting. Okay. And I'm always, like I said, I'm always trying to do things different and test new things and just see where the industry is going, because it's still such a new medium, right? And we're still trying to figure out a bunch of different things, and how do you make money with it, and just how do you grow your audience and all this kind of stuff. So I've been podcasting for 15 years. My background is in traditional radio and television, but then I got out of that and started podcasting and doing all that. So now, let's see, since COVID hit, my life has done a 180 even since then. So I don't even know where to start this conversation. I launched a podcasting course. So I'm starting to teach other people how to podcast, which is good. So I've got some group coaching. I have an online course that I teach. And then I'm breaking out of the types of programs that, podcast content that I used to create in the past, and I'm doing some different things. So I used to do all parenting content. In fact, that's kind of what brought you on Revive, because Revive was a live show primarily aimed towards parents, even though I don't really think we really made that connection very well. But we talked about parenting. Your segment was about parenting, I think, as a single dad, right?
It was. We were talking about, you were all like the happy parents, the married parents and all this. And then here comes Peter, the Antichrist, and it's like, I'm here tell you on how to survive.
We needed all perspectives on the show.
When you're a single parent going through hell, but you love your children.
Right.
Yeah. So,
right.
but the thing was, you're right. It was about parenting because I adore my daughter, and life has been the easiest part of my life. And I don't think it's because of whatever I put a good bit into it, but I'm just a lucky guy, and I still have a daughter that has kept me from screaming. Which, you know, if I did start screaming, it's just kind of natural. You're a kid growing, but yeah, that's what got me on your show. But I was the exact opposite example with the same purpose. But you know what I mean? I felt like you guys, I was thinking in my head when we were talking, like they're probably going, wow, what the hell? You know?
No, I don't think at all. And I'm trying to figure out how I even discovered you. And I think it was through LinkedIn because that's how I was finding guests. I think I was just researching parenting, or I don't even know. You popped up in my feed somehow. I'm like, well, this is an interesting cat. We should talk to him.
Yeah, he's all screwed up. Let's go see if we can peel that grape.
But you never know who's going to come your way, and I enjoy just talking to people.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter what people's backgrounds are, and so so all of my content was focused on parenting, and my kids now are a little bit older, obviously, than a year ago. But I've been doing so much parenting content, like literally the last 7 years of my life has just been parenting content.
Right.
So you kind of get just kind of tired of it after a while. So I basically, started doing other stuff, and that's kind of what got me into coaching other people on their podcast and kind of expanding that kind of stuff. And then, so my latest stuff has been focused on my faith. Something that's always been present in my life. And, without the, really focusing on the parenting side of stuff, I really wanted to explore that. I think in today's day and age, like we have to have faith. It just depends on who you're going to have faith in or what you're going to have faith in. But we need something to get us through this time and even beyond that. And a lot of people are struggling right now. And so I felt like that was the call in my life right now, is really to pursue that and share that with people.
Well, good, because again, I have a gentleman. He's a East Coast radio talk show host from Baltimore. His name is Bob Paff. He's pretty prevalent on Facebook too. I mean, LinkedIn. Okay. That's how I found him too. And he's a little more straight-laced than me. Uh-huh. But we have the same. We run the same parallels. But we were talking last week that he has a lot of faith, and I don't go talking about it heavily. But there's a lot of faith that goes behind me, too, because I just feel there's a form of accountability. It was the way I was raised. I don't preach it so much, but I do mention it, because I'm not ashamed nor proud. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not proud to say I'm not proud, but I need it. I need it. You know what I mean? And so, let me tell you, to me, a lot of people may not cop religion until you're in that airplane and it's going through a hell of a turbulence where you're feeling like you're going to crash, and then all of a sudden you go, oh God, please just let us land. So deep within, it's within everybody, I truly believe, but I've just gotten to the point in my life to where just before I started this show, I have to close my eyes for a second and say a little prayer, because I know how screwed up I am and what goes on when I'm doing this show, that I need all the help I can get. And before I leave my house in the mornings and before I go to bed in the morning, I just say a little something. No harm, But that was because my parents kind of brought me into that. And you teach to learn, but it's never too late, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. And no, it's never too late. And I think you brought up a really interesting point, and that is, when we think all hell is breaking loose, right? What do? We say a little prayer. We're like, God, if you're out there, please help me.
Yeah. Now he goes, now you come to me,
That's the amazing thing, is he will. Like, God is not a respecter of persons. Like, if you ask for help, he's going to come to you and he's going to be there with you. The Bible tells us that God is never going to leave us. He's never going to forsake us. As much as we push him away, he's always, always there. And so I think it's like our spirit knows. Like that's what I think that is. That little voice where you're like, everything is falling apart. What do I do? Our spirit knows where we came from. Even if we can't get past our mind, because our mind can't make sense of all this because we can't see him. He's not right there, whatever. Our spirit knows. So I think that's exactly what's happening.
I think
now.
A lot of people get misled because why do all these bad things happen? And, who knows? I don't have the answer to that. But let me ask you something. So you're doing podcasts now based on that. What do you call your show?
Yeah, so I've got one show that's in production now that's pretty elaborate, which I can tell you about. My main show that's out now is called I Am the Remnant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally, I do a lot of praying every day, and I talk to God. And that may sound weird to
On the
people.
air?
How do you talk to God? Like, prayer is talking to God. I mean, that is, and think about it. If you have a relationship with someone, it's because you talk to them. You have some sort of communication with them. You can't expect to have a relationship with God if you're not going to talk to him, right? And so I just talk to him throughout the day. And I like to say he downloads stuff to me. This is a very computer term, right? He tells me things like I talk to him, he talks to me. And that's what I share on my podcast. What is God saying right now? And a lot of this stuff is stuff that I don't want to talk about, but because I've told God, okay, if you tell me to talk about this, I'm going to talk about it. I talk about it. And it's so funny because my personality naturally is I don't like confrontation. I will run from confrontation. I'm the one that's usually like, can't we all get along? But these things that he's downloading in my head are anything but. It is not, these are some controversial topics. And I'm like, are you sure you really want me to talk about this? Because I don't want to talk about this. That's how I know it's not me. These aren't topics. These aren't things that I really want to talk about because it upsets people, right? But God definitely has a perspective on stuff. And if Christians aren't going to say it, who's going to say it? Who's going to stand up for God in all this? And so he's calling on the remnant. That's why the show is called I Am the Remnant. I'm not the only one.
Okay, so it's not like not like the Beatles, I Am the Walrus. Right?
No,
right?
it's not like that.
Okay,
No,
I'm just want to make sure we clarify. Okay,
No,
cuckoo.
The remnant is a small group of people. I mean, it's from the Old Testament, New Testament, whatever, that is willing to stand up when everyone else is sitting down.
Okay.
No, I mean that figuratively, but I actually just came out with an episode that's like, stand up, get off your knees. You better start standing up because the only person that you bow down for is Jesus. That's it. That's what the Bible says. And so there's so many things that are happening in this world today, and a lot of people just can't make sense of it. But if you look at it with your spiritual eyes, it's as clear as day, and that's what the show's about.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this, because I grew up mostly in my later teens in the South, okay? And the South is the Bible Belt. And we used to go out on the weekends, and these people, depending on your denomination or whatever, they'd be on the street corners, like across from, like we have areas where there's lots of bars and things like that, and they'd be shouting from the top of their lungs, holding the Bibles and trying to me, and that wasn't a way to get your attention. To me, that was just like, go to bed. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but that's what, and they still do it, because when I go back to Florida, I do go out because I have many friends that I like to see, and I try to cover a little ground. I'm still not worn out enough yet to say, screw it, I'm done. And they're still out there doing that, and it's one thing to talk, but to be out on the street corner screaming, thinking you're going to get one, I just beg to differ. It seems to me like they're doing it ass backwards.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just my take, because your people are out. Who the heck is going to go hey, I want to go listen to what these guys got to say at 2:00 in the morning? And they're out drinking or doing whatever.
So you've heard the parable, perhaps, or maybe I should kind of explain a little bit. But in the Bible, there's a parable of the mustard seed, right?
Yes.
And it's the smallest seed. It's the smallest seed, but it grows into this really big bush.
I get it.
And you're planting a seed. Now, I will say, I don't think that the kind of fire and brimstone message, right, that they're shouting is going to work for most people. Right. My question to them is, have you checked this over with God? Has God literally told you to do this? Because God doesn't make mistakes. If he sends you on a mission, then you need to do the mission, right? So that's my question to them. If God calls you to do that, then I've got no problem with it. Right. But if you think that just putting people down, the Bible says that the greatest commandment is love. I don't see a lot of love in that, but I will also say this. Time is getting shorter and shorter, as far as how much time we have left. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that is the truth. That is biblical. So if you believe the Bible is truth, then that is truth. And so sometimes, I'm a parent, right? We talked about that. I'm a parent.
Yeah.
I remember times when my child, well, I have several children. I have 4
What do you
kids.
have, like 80 kids now? How many kids you got?
4, and we're done.
4? Okay.
But I remember times when my kids were really little and they would just take off running, right? And let's say they were just like running towards a street.
Yeah.
Me as a mom, I'm not like, oh, honey, will you come back? Because that's a little dangerous. I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
No, I'm going, I'm like, woo, woo, trying to go grab my kid, trying to save my kid from getting killed in the street.
Yeah.
So that's an immediate, it's a situation that's like, if I wasn't running, if I wasn't screaming it.
That's called parenting.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I think God is trying to parent us
Yes.
as well,
Yeah.
and if we are that close to the end, God is probably screaming right now, because if not, we're going to get killed, and that is permanent separation from him. So I would be screaming too if I were him. So if that's what they've been called to do now, because we're at the end of the end.
Oh, they've been doing it for decades. I don't know if that's what. No, they've been. This has been since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Well, I know the people you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I would just question and be like, hey, has God told you to do that? Just check it with God first. And
They're going to say that God told them to do it. I mean, their church, whatever, I mean, they're out there. And again, they're a choice-looking group. And they're sitting there screaming at the top of their lungs. And I'm going, now I understand the mustard seed thing, because I feel very much like this show is very much like that. I'm getting them one at a time the hard way.
Yeah.
But we are spreading, and we are doing things like this. And I'm watching a bunch of people. There's a lot of people digging you right now, and because we're talking about something that's important to a lot of people. To some people, it may not be anything, but you can't please everybody.
Sure.
So we're doing God's work.
We are.
I know we are. I mean, I'm making fun, but I'm serious in a fun kind of way.
No, well, I totally believe that it was the Holy Spirit that told you to email me about this.
Okay, I'll take it.
I really do. I mean, it's just these little moments in life. God doesn't necessarily come in a big hurricane. He comes in a still small voice, right? And so it's just that little thing. It's like, Peter, hey, Sunny's in your feet. Hey, maybe you should reach out to Sunny. Remember, you talked to Sunny a year ago.
And well, God told me, He says, Peter, you need a good guest. You better call her.
God is so smart.
Yeah.
Just so smart, right?
Yeah. Whatever. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I mean, but again, I feel what I'm doing, and we're on a peso budget, and we really literally polish that turd to its shiniest of shine. But I at the end of the day, and my thoughts are, there's people out there that that once in a while will chime in and go, I'm really glad I saw this show or that show. It really made a lot of sense. And to me, if it reaches out to that one person, because we talked about somebody who lost a child, we talked about somebody who's going through some hell because they're a single parent and their life is falling apart, or we talked about this show and podcasting and reaching out to people, or whatever we talked about. If one person, it's one more person than what we got.
That's true.
And it's the hard way, but let's talk about, I'm going to keep flowing through, and we'll circle
totally.
back around. Let's talk about podcasts. I feel like there's 80. Now, after my show, I was sending my podcast to my producer, but we revamped, we needed to revamp the iTunes channel because something went down and went wrong, and when they split up from Apple, when it went from iTunes or however it went, that I needed to redo something, and because I've been so busy, I've completely just stopped letting it go to podcasts, and I feel I'm probably going to pay the price because of that, because people love podcasts, to listen to things.
Yeah, they do love podcasts. And because you have a weekly show, I think it makes a lot of sense to do that. Podcast listeners get in the habit of doing something on a weekly basis. That's what the stats kind of show.
Yeah. Well,
so I think whatever you need to do to do that with Apple Podcasts, I think you need to do.
It's because the COVID hit, and I needed to go see him, and yeah, it did. Well, yeah, exactly. And we were all wondering, do we get together? And then I have not put anything new on podcasts in a year.
Okay.
And it's bad. Because I know that it's not that hard. All I did was rip the audio from the show, and I was sending it to him. All he did was cut and paste, and I sent him the new what show we have and what number, the new text for it, and he was able to put it up. But I have not gone there to personally be over his shoulder when he revamps it, because something went down and we can no longer get them to feed. And I a lot of people do listen to podcasts. There's a gazillion podcasts out there. How do you get people to figure out what they want to listen to? I wouldn't know there's so many choices. When I'm watching TV, the few times I'm watching TV, I spend more time trying to figure out what to watch, and then I say, oh, the hell with it, I got to go to bed.
I know.
So the same thing with podcasts. How do people figure it out to go watch you?
Right.
Listen to you, not watch. That's another thing.
Although it's getting more tricky because podcasts are now starting to be done in video as well. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but years and years ago, because again, I've been podcasting forever. When I first started podcasting is when YouTube first came out. I mean, audio podcasts and YouTube, I guess audio podcasts came out a little bit before YouTube. But because we had video and, we were doing stuff with YouTube, people started doing video podcasts. That was a thing way back when. Okay. And then I feel like YouTube kind of took over. Plus, if you had video and podcasts are originally on your iPod, right? And so, you only had so much space. So video was going to take up more space. So anyways, long story short, it kind of went by the wayside and it just focused on audio for last 10, 15, whatever years mainly. But now technology has kind of caught up a little bit. In fact, I do work for a company. It's a podcasting company that allows people to record remotely. And one of the big things that we are in beta on right now is to allow people to do, the video recording as well as the audio recording at the same time. And to do it super high quality, not the crap stuff you're going to get on Zoom and Skype and all that kind of stuff.
That was a reason why I didn't want to do. Remember how we were trying for the TV and all that last year?
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that because it looks so office meeting looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I've avoided this. But now I just going, well, you know what? People want to. I'd rather be, because the thing was 4 or 5 years ago when we first started the show, we started on YouTube podcasting with you put a picture up the way they were doing music. There was just a picture there, but it was all audio.
Yeah.
And that was very short lived because I always wanted TV. I just did. I know this isn't a whole lot to look at, but I just figured distance is my best. But so we quickly started going to video, but I wanted podcasts because you can listen to it in the car. You can listen to it with one ear at work. And I've gotten away from that. And I think that's going to be a big problem with me because I probably would be doing, even better had I been on podcasts. People will listen to me. I don't know why, but I love them for it,
Well, to answer your question, it is difficult to be discovered as a podcast if you don't already have some sort of brand. Like for you're already on LinkedIn, you're already on Facebook, and you can kind of use your audience in those other places to say, hey, I also have a podcast. So if you'd rather listen to this as a podcast, go over there. Right. But for people that are just launching a podcast and they don't have a brand to represent them in different places, this is a problem. I mean, it really is, because there are over 1 million podcasts in Apple Podcasts right now.
And it's not hard to record something. I mean, and the beauty of it is you can record it and we're not live. Do it at your leisure. And I know a lot of people, they go, I'm going to start a podcast, and then you can upload it. But don't expect to be Joe Podcaster. It's not easy.
Yeah. Don't expect to be Joe Rogan Podcaster.
There you go. It's not easy.
A lot of people have this preconceived notion that, it's just so easy to do. And I tell people, the tools are there. Again, I work for a company that makes it easy to podcast. But just because the tools are there doesn't mean they're going to launch something and, you're going to get all of these downloads. I actually think it's a lot harder to create an audience around a show on podcasts as opposed to YouTube, as opposed to Facebook. And that's mainly like an algorithm kind of thing. Podcasting has not figured that out yet. You do not have the benefit of an algorithm to help people find your podcast. It's basically done by SEO. I mean, that is your best friend right now in podcasting.
What is SEO?
Search engine optimization. So in Apple Podcasts, I mean, and this is an important thing. So if here's a quick tip: if you're planning to start a podcast, make sure whatever tags people would be searching for to find your content, make sure it is in your podcast name. Make sure those kind of things are what you're calling your episodes. And make sure it's in your author tag. Those are the 3 places. And it's frustrating from a creator point of view because now all the names of podcasts are getting super boring because we're all keyword stuffing, right? In our names and stuff because we want people to find our shows. Right. But case in point, so one of my podcasts that I've been doing for years is focused on pregnant moms, right? It's called Preggy Pals, not Pregnant Pals, Preggy Pals. And I miss a huge chunk of audience because who's searching for preggy? No, I mean, it's cute. It's got a little picture of a little pregnant mom on it, cute, design, artwork and stuff. But I'm missing a huge chunk of audience because I didn't capitalize on that because that really wasn't a thing when I created my podcast a million years ago, right?
Who knew?
So, yeah. So, I mean, that is how the bulk of people are finding like things organically, right? It's good old fashioned SEO, right? It's based on keywords. However, we are seeing more networks pop up. So I also run a podcast network, which is just a fancy term for, a collection of podcasts where if you find one, you can find a bunch. And so for our network, we have a list of criteria that people have to basically adhere to, or, we have to approve them before they can come on the network. They pay a fee to be on the network because we cross promote them and do some other things. So that's something people can look into, is joining a podcast network. Other than that, if you're not a celebrity or, have buku bucks to just throw advertising around. I mean, this is I would say this is the biggest problem in podcasting right now is discoverability. So you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. A podcast. I watch a lot of people, even on LinkedIn. I have to. People come out of the gate strong.
Right.
But how long can they keep it up?
Yeah. The average is 7 episodes.
How long is that in time? 7 weeks, 7 months?
Well, it's totally up to them,
okay.
Right? I mean, there's no rules.
7 episodo, really?
This is the Wild West,
because I had this one super fan, and he used to call religiously, and he goes, people told me I should do a podcast. I go, maybe you should. I said, because if you think, because if you're going to come in, because he was kind of a little bit over the top, and sometimes I had to calm him down, and I appreciated him calling, but sometimes he got a little out of hand. I had to spank him. Because I like the edgy, it's a little, but don't go overboard in certain ways. Because he used to think because I swear once in a while, but it wasn't what I said, it's how I said it.
Yeah. Okay.
And he would say things that to me were how he said it was just way too off the edge for what I want to do. And I'm pretty relaxed, believe me. But he was even a little bit at times too much for me. He says, well, people said I should do a podcast. I go, do it. I said, I'll support you. Let's see how long you can go, because that's the thing. It's like I'm so stubborn and pig-headed, and I do everything ass backwards. I do not have the technological brain to do the SFOs or SEOs, and I don't think like that. I think put out content. I need a media strategist to take what I've got and utilize it to its fullest. But I don't do that. We just do. And I said, you know what? Maybe this is a little bit longer road. Maybe this is a little bit harder road. But I truly believe in what I'm doing, and so do my, my people that follow. And we're gathering more. And people go, well, how many people you got following on Facebook? It's almost impossible to find out how many people are following you because Google doesn't track it. If people are doing watch parties, their people are counted, but it's not counted to me. It's counted to them. It's just so it's impossible. So I just said, I don't care anymore. I know I'm doing something. Good or bad, and whatever happens, happens. Mm-hmm. If 1,000 no's, 1 yes.
Yeah, it'll drive you crazy trying to figure out.
I don't want it, but the thing is, but most people go, "Well, how many followers you got?" And I go, "I don't know." And they go, "What do you mean you don't know?" And I try to explain it, but I can't explain it. And I just said, "I'm doing things very ass backwards." I chose instead of they go, "Why aren't you on YouTube going YouTube live?" And I go, "People don't want to watch me on YouTube. It's a long show." I store all my stuff on YouTube. It's all up there. But I have very few videos that are in the tens of thousands, like 75,000. Most of these live shows, people hardly watch them there. They're stored up there, but they're watching it through Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get all hopped up, and I want to do it, but how long can you do it for?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a little bit different. I always tell people if you're going to do a podcast, make sure the content is something that you would love to do no matter what. Because if you think, again, going back to this being the Joe Rogan, podcaster or whatever, I mean, he worked really hard to get to where he is today. I mean, he was not an overnight success, right? Anyone that remembers Fear Factor and all the other stuff.
Well, he was big before Fear Factor, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's all this other stuff. And so this was just one step in his journey.
Yeah, right.
I come across so many podcasters that have fantastic ideas and great shows, and they're still struggling to find an audience. So yeah, no, it's definitely a problem. So I say, make sure it's something you love to do, that you're doing, like you're doing this show. You love to do this show, right? You love to help people.
Depends what time it is. No, I'm kidding.
You wouldn't be doing this show if you didn't love this show.
I do love it.
Right?
I love what I do. I love the business. I hate the business. I don't know how to put that. I hate the administrative end of it, but I do love the business because I love people. I really do. I'm people say, well, yeah, boy, that boy can talk, but I love the business. I came from a music background, but I love people, and to me, I can't see it any other way. End of story.
Yeah.
So I'll either do what I'm doing or die trying.
Yeah. Well, that's when you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I think.
It took me a long time to get to where I am, because, again, I shifted gears. I was always in music, and for years, people used to tell me things. They go, you missed your calling, man. You should be doing this or that. And I'm going, no, I love playing music. I love playing drums. I was a drummer. But that's what I loved. I really loved doing that. But times have changed. The music industry has changed. I went through that divorce that just took me out of the picture because I sacrificed myself. I'm not saying, oh, yeah, look, martyr. I made a conscious choice to stop, travel, anything like that, to make sure I was there for my daughter every day. And then it led me to this several years after going through, what the hell am I going to do? I can't work a normal job. It's going to kill me. I'm not a normal person. Mm-hmm. And here I am. Mm-hmm. End of story.
Yeah.
Where I'm going to go from here, God only knows.
You're right. He does, Peter.
He does. Yeah.
Peter's a very biblical name, I mean,
yes, I'm aware
not
of
a
that.
reference for the Peter in the Bible. So just saying.
Just saying.
There.
Yeah. Well, so are you producing people shows, or are you just doing all of your own stuff?
No, I have my own stuff, but then I coach, right? So any of the shows that are on my podcast network, I'm always coaching them and helping them. And then like I said, I have the podcast course. And so people that are, joining the course, we've got a group coaching program that's part of that. I do a lot of troubleshooting with podcasters. Like, this is my problem.
Is there a lot of problems?
How do I fix it?
Is there a lot of problems?
Yeah, but they all have the same problems.
Give me an example, because I want to know that I'm not the only one who's screwed up.
Oh, well, this is an interesting problem to have. So I just had a call with someone who is in the education space. She's actually working to create her own podcast network. So I had a coaching call with her on how to start a podcast network. She has a very unusual problem, if you want to call it that. Mm-hmm. She got a grant, and it was some sort of, school grant or whatever. She got a grant to create a podcast network. And so she has all this money and doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's my problem too.
That's not usually the problem. No, people's problems usually are, trying to figure out like the format of their show. A lot of people, here's the problem. If you don't have like a media background or an entertainment background, sometimes it's hard to create a podcast because you haven't been taught what makes something entertaining. You recognize entertainment.
It's called personality.
Yeah, well, personality is part of it, but even having a format to your show, it's little things like that, sometimes I think we as podcasters or the podcast industry kind of shoots itself in the foot sometimes because we create these tools to make it so easy to podcast, but then we don't provide enough information on what makes something entertaining. So you get a bunch of crap out there. And to our point earlier, it's hard to find good podcast content. And all you need is someone to start, looking past what Apple recommends on their homepage, start being a little creative. They find 3, they all stink, 3 podcasts they went out on a limb for and they all stink, and then they're like, forget it. I'm just going to do what, Apple recommends. So
I got to go with my gut. I mean, when I started out doing the divorce and single parenting thing, that was a heavy topic, and a lot of people going, I don't know, Peter. That's like, Oprah doesn't even do that. And it's like, well, maybe Oprah didn't friggin' think about it. I mean, she doesn't need to do it. She's got everything else. Dr. Phil, how's that working for you? I don't know. But that's what I chose because that's what fired me up, which launched me into this because I felt nobody talked about this stuff, and there's a lot of people suffering silently, and somebody needed to lead by example.
Yeah, I think that's how I found you for my show. Do you have a website or something about divorced dad or something?
I don't have a website because I didn't want a website. It's just a face.
Yeah.
It goes straight to the Facebook page. I chose no website, but the thing is, I had plenty of content when you met me because we were
Okay.
doing pre-recorded multi-camera interviews back then.
Oh,
But it was
okay.
expensive, and I had
Yeah.
a couple of, so a few really big musicians and things like that, and interesting people. And and I've done. I mean, we have Pepsi. He's a puppet. You know what I mean? But we talked about things, and sometimes we goof, and
Yeah.
sometimes we were really heavy, and we kind of try to keep it, a little bit of everything to kind of keep it floating. We're not all tears, things, but there's a lot of people that go, that think that everything is just them. Why me? Why me? And I just decided, I said, when I started, every time I'd be in a room with people at a party or something, and it's like I was going through the shit, I'm going through this. Oh, man, I'm going through this. Or my brother-in-law. Everybody's going through that crap. You're one of the lucky ones, okay?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not everybody's that lucky. And I think 67% of the nation is a product of divorce, divorced or divorcee or grew up
Yeah.
in a divorced family, and it sucks. And some people cannot handle it. And
Right.
I was more concerned about my daughter not getting all twisted, and I got lucky. And thank God that she didn't get twisted. But I did my damnedest. But there was times when you just can't help it. She hears things. They hear things and they take it with them. But she's fared well. But I had a partner in the very beginning, and he had 2 kids, and they were getting really, really messed up. And that's when I had to cut it. I said, you got to get yourself straight. Because
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be good because we bantered together really well, but there was more to it than that. And I go, we can't be out there preaching if we don't, do, how do you say it? Yeah,
Preaching.
yeah.
I see a ministry here, Peter. I don't know what you're talking about. I see you working with divorced families, leading them to Jesus.
Listen,
that's what I see.
well, the thing is, I'm not. I do, well, yeah, whatever it takes. I mean, I talk a lot about these things, so I have no problem. I'm proud of that. Again, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good. But the thing is, I like variety too, and believe me, if I had the budget, I'd have not only that musician who told me about his 2 marriages and this and that, we'd be doing music as well because he's an amazing, one of the iconic musicians in the world,
Yeah.
So to me, it's like balance. That not only because most people are finding those interviews because they're searching that musician to hear like how he played an A chord or something like that, and all of a sudden they bump into it and they go, and they'll comment and they go, wow,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this, but it was so cool to hear the human factor of this rock star.
Yeah.
Because these are people that you only see and you just think their lives are honky dory, and they're not. They're just like you or me. Well, maybe not you because you're lucky. You're blessed.
Yeah. We're all blessed.
I mean, but tell me that you're married and you didn't have bumps in the road.
Oh, hello. I mean, I
Okay.
think that's why I do so much of the content that I do. And especially when I did my parenting shows was because I was going through all of that craziness and I had to vent in a therapeutic way, right? And
right.
so my shows were about not only talking to experts about parenting topics, but talking to other parents.
Right.
I mean, it really was my therapy in getting through those early years of
Me too.
parenting.
And I feel I'm giving free therapy. I mean,
You
some people
are.
call it, and it's like, you know what? I'm good with that because I'm good with that. It makes me feel better because I have to get it out anyway. So I use
Yeah.
myself lead by example. And
There you go.
somebody told me last week, he says, you put yourself out there. And I go, and I'm not ashamed and or proud of it. It's just a necessary evil, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, some people say, I don't know, man. I don't know why you air out your stuff. And I don't really, I don't talk bad about my ex. I just tell stories
Yeah.
because it's just life. We're just people.
Yeah.
And, but it started with, we were going to be podcasting because my producer back then was like, whoa, you need to back it down. That was why we couldn't get started. Our ideas were way bigger than a budget could ever provide.
Yeah.
And so podcasting is still not gone away. It's still very big. And here you are doing it. And I just wanted to tell, again, my people and get you on here and said, you know what, I'm curious myself as to what you're doing, how you're doing, because I feel I'm missing the boat on that thing, whether anybody will listen to me. But a lot of people I'd probably get more listeners because they have more time to put an earpiece in their ear while they're working or driving, because it's hard. The problem with Facebook, if the page isn't open, you can't listen to it in the car. YouTube's
Yeah.
the same way. If you click off YouTube, it clicks off the sound. It's not like
Yeah. you have to be wherever your audience is. The day I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, we only want our content here. And I'm like, I feel like I'm talking to someone 20 years ago, who's running a television station. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we have to be where everybody is. We rely on putting our stuff in RSS feeds and sending it off. And, I think that's so important. If that's your goal, to connect with people, to share your message, whatever your message is, the idea of just saying, oh, it's got to be right here and this is the only place people can listen to it. No, it needs to take multiple forms. Like when I tell people, when I coach people in podcasting, I'm like, podcasting is the first step. That's the audio. And now I guess we're adding video, but that's the first step. And then from there, you take a little clip. We do audiograms. You know what audiograms are?
No, tell me.
It's basically it's a promo for your podcast, but there are websites out there that will take a little snippet, right, from your RSS feed. You just select whatever episode you want. It'll take a little snippet. Right. So it's a teaser for your podcast, because otherwise we're just posting images and perhaps a little description of what the podcast episode was about. But there's no real interaction there. There's no like, oh, do I even like this person's voice? Do I like, would I be interested in subscribing to this podcast? How would you ever know? Right. So, you take this little, snippet and you put it out on social media. Perhaps you take a little, a sentence of an interesting thing that someone says, and you put that on a graphic and you put that on Instagram, and then you get a transcript of your podcast and you create a blog post out of it. This is what I teach, because if you want your message to get out there, you can't be like, oh, I'm just a podcaster. Like, no, we're all really just content creators, right? We might have a focus, but I do video just as much as I do audio, I blog just as much as I do anything else. I tweet, I do all the stuff, because I'm a communicator and I talk with my hands a lot,
Are you Italian?
I'm not Italian.
Yeah. I had to put out the snippets, so to speak. That's why we do like 1 minute, 2 minute pieces like twice a day. Because it's much easier to watch a minute or two. I realized that like I don't have time to. I have friends that do things, and I wish I could say I have time to sit and support that too. I don't, and so I don't blame them for not watching me. But it's a big world out there. And there's lots of people that will watch and more, because I'm so enthralled in what I'm doing. People don't understand the work involved in doing this. It's not like we just did the show and I get up and walk away. This is the easiest part of my whole night or my whole week, because now the real down, nitty gritty, as soon as the show is over, it's going to go into a repeat, and I'm taking notes. Because I'm taking notes for what's going to be chopped up for the week, and then God knows I'm up till 1:30 in the morning doing this stuff every night. It's just the way it is. So here's what's happening right now. We've just talked and time has gone by like that. But I want you to, besides me wanting to thank you for being on this show, sure. I want you to tell my people what you're doing and what you'd like them to tune in to see and hear. And I would like to have you on the show down the road again sometime if you'd be gracious enough to be there. Like I said, I want to brighten up my set, and
Rays of sun.
Yes.
And the angels started singing.
That's right. Remember, my name is Peter. So okay. So tell everybody what you do, how to find you, and if they're interested. Because again, I got some people saying I got somebody said they love you already. They're in love with you.
Aww.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Don't forget now. All this, like I grab this. I grab it with a screen catchers or whatever you want to call it, and we take it and upload it to YouTube. And so this show, if there's anything you want off of this, you're more than willing to take it and use it to your fullest. Because you're doing a great job, as I knew you would. But again, so you tell people how to find you, what you're doing, and how you're doing it.
Yeah, guys. So again, I'm the podcast girl. I've been podcasting a long time. That's really my focus now. And so my website is just my name. It's real easy. sunnygault. I'll spell it for you. SUNNY Gault, GAULT.com. And you can find all of my stuff there. So again, I'm a podcast coach. If anyone's interested in starting a podcast, I'd love to help you out with that and chat with you a little bit more. I run a podcast network, and I would love for you guys to check out my podcast. The main one that I'm super passionate about right now is called I Am the Remnant. If you go to IamTheRemnant.org, That's the easiest way to listen to the episodes. And if anything I said today about God and Jesus just stirred a little mustard seed in your soul, I encourage you to check out the episode. You'll learn a lot more about the Holy Spirit and God and the things that he's telling his people right now. And there's always an opportunity at the end of each episode to accept Jesus. And so I just extend that to you guys today, and I hope to see you guys on the podcast.
There you have it, folks. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I have a feeling.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Listen, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome.
This was good. This, we tried to do the video thing on your show, and we were having all kinds of problems.
We were.
I'm so thankful right now. It's been clean and clear, and they can see that smiling face, and that's good because this one is not. So, you can do something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. So thank you again. All this stuff, even this little clip of you telling them, I'm going to have them cut it up, and it'll get out there in little snippets, and you'll be living on. That's the beauty of it. It lives on and on and on. And
that's right.
It does. It regurgitates, and I love it because that's I'm a firm believer on more content, and more people will just by accident, and then by accident you'll get somebody, and it's all a good thing because I truly believe we're both out here to try and do some good.
We are, absolutely. It's my pleasure, Peter. Thank you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sunny Gault from the Independent Podcast Network. You can find her at sunnygault.com.
Yep.
Yeah,
sir.
sunnygault.com, or she's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah,
all the above.
Yeah,
Just
all the above.
Yep.
All right, because I still got to do. I have these other people that I love very much too. They're with the USA Strong. America Strong USA. They're doing a wristband challenge. They're supporting all our healthcare workers and first responders and things like that. And they've been really good about what they another true believers in our country and people that are out there fighting for us. So I got to go do a couple of wristband giveaways. But we've killed it. I'm lately every week I'm running over time. But the beauty of it is it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody.
It's arbitrary, right? When does the show wrap? Who knows?
When I'm good and damn ready. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyway,
right.
Okay. Thank you again, and we'll be talking down the road. And again, I wish you all the luck in the world, and I hope that the next time we talk, we have even better stuff to talk about.
Of course.
As if this was. I mean, this was good too. But I mean, I just love that because the people that put in the hard work, that doesn't necessarily always guarantee anything, but it sure does help, right?
It does, absolutely.
All right. Well, God bless you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Say bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. There we go. There's a hang up button. There you have it, folks. Miss Sunny Gault. Wow, what, Paul? Wow, good? Oh, you love her again? She's pretty good, right? I was on her show a year ago. Paul, you were there. Well, you weren't there. I did it in the daytime when I was over on the Gulf Coast. That's when I had all the every technical problem you could possibly ask for. But yeah, I had all kinds of problems. It was a bitch. It really was. But she's cool, and you know what? And I knew that her head was in the right place for what she was doing. But they were cool enough. They came to me and found me and asked me to be on their show, and I was happy. I mean, I was happy to go do it because. To believe me, it's easier to be a guest than it is to do this show. I just get on and just, run my course. But Miss Sunny Gault, all right, she's in the Independent Podcast Network, sunnygault.com, independent, God bless, I'm getting tongue-tied now, I'm getting tired. Here's what I want to do. I want to talk to you about America Strong USA. That was a good show. She's good. I knew she was going to be good. She's always up tempo. She's got. I said 1 million kids. She's got 4 kids, but they're young kids, so that keeps her busy. And I don't. And that's the thing. A lot of times I tell people, "Hey, can you come onto my show?" And they go, "I don't know. I got the kids and family time and this and that." But she says, "You know what? I'm wide open for Sunday night. I can do it." And that was like, yes, yes. Here's what I want to talk to you about. Take it off my wrist this time so I don't mess it up. If you've been watching the past few shows, I've been talking about America Strong USA, I love what these guys are doing. AmericaStrongUSA.org. They're doing a wristband challenge. They are a nonprofit organization that is sponsoring and representing and helping your first responders, all your healthcare workers, and yes, your law enforcement people, the people that put their lives on the line for you, that, believe it or not, they've got problems too. They've got sick children. They've got illnesses, things that insurances don't cover, things like that. They are doing a wristband challenge right now. I want to challenge anybody to call into my show, 818-259-7983. The first two callers will get a wristband. 818-259-7983. The number is up all the time. I wanted to put this up right now. I'll tell you what I'll do. Here's what I'm going to do. I forgot. ABC World News Tonight. Again, I'm calling out to you and challenging you to talk to me about AmericaStrongUSA.org and the wristband challenge. I'm challenging you to get your people to talk to me so we can talk about AmericaStrongUSA.org and sponsoring America's healthcare workers, first responders, and law enforcement. The people that we need. Don't ever think we don't need them. And here's a phone call, so hang on real quick. And it went away. Whoever just called, I lost you. That was quick. I want to give a wristband away. I'm going to give 2 wristbands away. And all I want you to do is do a 5-10 second video saying, hey, I'm Peter G. from Los Angeles, California, and I support... Here we go. Hang on one second. Hi, you're on with Life of Peter G. Who's this?
This is John. How are you doing, Peter?
I'm good, John. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was calling you about one of those wristbands you're giving away.
Good, John. I appreciate it. Here's what you're going to do for me, okay? Where are you calling from? John?
California.
California. Awesome. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to say, when you hang up, you're going to text me your name, address to this number that you just called. And,
okay.
And I'll have my people send out a wristband to you, but I'm going to ask you one big favor, okay?
Sure.
Okay. I want you, when you get the wristband, to make a 5 to 10 second video saying, hey, this is John from California, wherever in California, and we support the America Strong USA wristband challenge, and I challenge you for the same thing. Get just a quick little video, and I want you to go to AmericaStrongUSA.org and just upload it right there, because we're trying to make a difference. Is that cool?
Okay, no problem.
Listen, do you first time listener? Listen often? I don't recall talking to you, although I'm not surprised.
Listener.
First time, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, listen. Anything you want to get off your chest while you're on the line?
No, I'm good.
You're good.
I was interested in those wristbands. I had a little problem with a guy. My neighbor wouldn't move his cars out of the way for a while, but he seems to be doing it now. So.
All right. Listen, I appreciate it very much. How did you end up finding the show, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I was just skimming through the channels and found your show.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're on every Sunday night, and these shows regurgitate through the week. You're more than welcome to check out all the older shows and share and start watch parties. I mean, if there's any certain topics you want me to talk about, write in and tell me about it, because believe me, I'm trying to cover a lot of bases, because I want to talk about things that you want to talk about. But right now, I truly appreciate you calling in. So like I said, anytime after you hang up, you can text your name and address, and I'll have my people send you out the wristband. And just do me the favor. I mean, make a quick video and post it up on their website, AmericaStrongUSA.org, because really that's what it's all about. We need to spread the message and the word for these people, that stick their lives on the line for us. Okay?
Exactly.
You got it. Listen, again, thank you so much for listening. I hope you end up being one of my steadies, all right?
Okay. Thank you, Petey.
All right, John. See you later.
Bye.
All right. One more wristband. I know somebody else called, but one more wristband to give away. 818-259-7983. Somebody left a message, right? I should just take him. And for the 757 caller, if you, he probably left a message. Hopefully if he left a message, he left his name and address, and I'll send out the wristband to you. Or 757. I don't know. Anyway, listen. I want to thank Bolt. Oh, there we go. Hey, you're on with Life of Peter G. Who's this?
Hey, Peter, it's Glenn Gross, Virginia.
Glenn Gross. How are you, Bubba?
No, not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's dark early here on the...
I know it is. You're usually... I really have to have something super interesting to keep you up at night.
Oh, man, you do such a great job. I'm sorry I can't tune in more often than I do because 3 o'clock a.m. comes early when it's time to get up and get to work on Monday.
Listen, I get it, but you know that all these shows are rerun through the week, and you can catch them anytime. I mean, a lot of people do because on the East Coast, it is late. I get it, but you can catch them and you can comment and read them, and you can share them. Again, I appreciate it. I don't expect everybody. Responsibility comes first. I'm just a mere guy, talking about some stuff here and there.
Well, once again, it's a great show. You got great content, great message, and I wish you continued success with what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So listen, buddy, after this is all over, I want you to just text me your address and all that, and I'll have them send you out a wristband. But please, 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 what's more important than that is making that little bitty video saying, hey, this is Glenn, and I'm from... wherever you want to say you're from, and Virginia, wherever in Virginia, and say, and I support America Strong USA, America Strong, wristband challenge, and post it up to their website. They're at americastrongusa.org. That's really what it's all about. And on Facebook or Instagram, whatever you're on, we need to spread the word to get this going. I don't expect this to be like an ice bucket challenge or nothing like that, but it's going to be something enough because we all care about our first responders. I think we do.
I'll do it.
I appreciate it. You doing okay?
Yes, sir. Doing great.
We're in some crazy times right now.
Oh, you don't have enough time. You'd have a whole nother show if I got started, but yes, sir.
Well, I've been doing, let me tell you something. The one thing I said I wasn't going to do when I started doing these shows was I wasn't going to do politics and religion, and I can't help it now. There's too much at stake. So I don't know if you probably haven't been catching stuff, but stick around. Right now, this is where we're at. I mean, I did have Sunny Gault on, and we were talking something a little off subject because the past month has been nothing but talking about where we're at. And so I'm right there, and you're more than welcome to call in. The problem I have is my people don't call in. They want to watch from afar. So call in. Let's talk about it because believe it or not, people probably want to hear what you got to say.
There's a lot to be said.
All right, well then when I have this, I'll tell you when I have that topic and I say I want somebody to call in. If you're awake, you need to call in and say whatever it is. I mean, some people will be 100% behind you, and some people will say you're freaking crazy. But that's the way it goes. Right. Deal. All right, listen. Thank you, and I appreciate it. I know we have a little bit of history together, but you don't have to stay up and you don't have to watch because everybody's busy in their lives, and I want you to know how much I appreciate you. So, thank you.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
All right, then help me spread the word. Then share and start those watch parties when you see the shows. It really all you got to do is just hit the share button in the watch parties, and it'll say, "Hey, Glenn is watching the Peter G Show," and you never know who's on your friends list who might think the same thing.
Gotcha. We'll do it.
All right, brother. Don't forget to leave me your address so I can have them send you out a wristband this week, all right?
All right. Take care of yourself.
Right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you calling. Get some sleep.
All right, buddy. All
right, goodbye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
All right, people. Like it. I like it. That's it. Next week, I'm hoping... I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna because I want to go back and do a little bit of divorce talk because I want Kelly Chang. She's a family law attorney who I've had on about 6 months ago, and she's turned into the family law TikTok queen. I mean, she does all this little cool stuff with tips about sensibly divorcing or trying to be as sensible as you can when you're going through hell. And she's done really well, especially since this COVID thing. I want to talk about how that whole process is changing now. But I need you, the people, to call in and talk too. I got the shyest audience. I swear to God, the day that this ever changes is going to blow my mind. I get all the people telling me, yeah, I know, I just want to watch. And you know that you have something good to say. I know you do. Okay, we are overtime. God, I'm overtime every time. All right, there you go. I love you guys more than anything. Yeah, these FaceTime segments have been pretty good. Yes, they are. I should have done this 2 years ago, right? Because I could have done it 2 years ago, and I just didn't. I don't know why. I wanted to keep it simple, stupid. There's so many things that can go wrong, but now that this COVID thing has happened, everybody's on their, everybody's Zooming and, but let me tell you something. Don't you ever forget the late shows and the late night shows and Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. They're all doing my show. They're all doing my show now. They've backed it down, except they got millions of dollars behind them, and I fly by the seat of my pants, and they still have it all worked out for them. But we're on an even playing field now, and I'll take it. I work hard at what I do, and I'm proud of what I do, and I'm proud of you for participating here. But let it be known. Don't just sit and watch, and because we're never going to grow unless you shout it out loud. Like Sonny said, you got to get up off your knees and stand up. And again, I'm going to stand up for America Strong USA and their wristband challenge, ABC News. I want to hear from ABC World News tonight. I want to hear from them because I know that they can do some good in helping this organization, this nonprofit, to help others. Come with me if you want to live. You know what's funny? I'm going to do this. I feel it'd be cool, because Sunny does she's doing the podcast and she's gotten into some religion and stuff like that. Wouldn't it be cool if Jesus had a podcast? I feel like South Park or something now, but because Jesus had a show on South Park. But I think it'd be cool to be like, welcome to the Jesus Show. I'm Jesus, your host. What's bothering you? I bet you'd call in if he asked you what's bothering you. But no, it's just Peter G, and it's like nobody wants to call in. It's like, please, tell me what's on your mind. I'm listening. Even Jesus has a sense of humor. He's got to. Look what he did. Listen, I love all you guys. I'm way over time once again. Every week, it's getting worse because there's so much stuff that we got to talk about. Stay tuned next week. I'm hoping I'm going to do a divorce segment show or surviving divorce or how to handle divorce or this and that. If I don't, believe me, you're going to find out. But I'm hoping to get Kelly Chang on there. She hasn't said yes, but she hasn't said no yet either. And that's why I'm already saying her name. Pressure. Peer pressure. Love you guys. Watch the show during the week and please share it, please. The best thing you can do for me is sharing and watch parties, okay? It's all I ask, all I ever asked. Love you guys more than anything for dedicating your time. I know that you have plenty of choices in life and you can do lots of things other than watch this. But I truly believe and love you for doing it. All right? I'm Peter G. You're watching Life of Peter G. right here live on Facebook, The Peter G. Show. We are out. I am done. I want to thank Sunny Gault from the Independent Podcast Network for coming onto the show. She did a great job, as I knew she would. It was nice to make the set, pretty up the set some. But don't forget, we'll see you next week, all right? And through the week, you can see this anytime on demand. Love you guys. We'll see you later.
Peter G. Show. Peter G. Show. Peter G. Show. Peter